heard that you've been doing yoga for so many years. How long have you started yoga?
Well, so I've been doing yoga, Indian style yoga, for 12 years now.
For 12 years.
Right, but I have been doing martial arts for 40 years.
Halo teman-teman, selamat datang di Obrolan Pas Channel bareng aku Andre. Dan hari ini kita kedatangan tamu istimewa. Dia adalah seorang instruktur yoga dari negeri Paman Sam alias Amerika. Yuk kenalan langsung sama narasumber langsung. Hi Barton, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Barton Brent. I'm from Missouri, USA.
Okay, from Missouri. Which state is it?
This Missouri is the state in the very middle of the United States.
Oh.
Many people know it as the Ozarks. There's a Netflix show about Ozarks.
I heard that you've been doing yoga for so many years. How long have you started yoga?
Well, so I've been doing yoga, Indian style yoga, for 12 years now.
For 12 years.
Right, but I have been doing martial arts for 40 years.
Martial art as well.
Yes.
Is the two of them connected or?
Well, I think they are connected. So there's a lot of similarities between the two.
Okay, I see. And I'm asking from the perspective of common people, so what is yoga actually? Because most of us don't know what's yoga.
Sure. So the actual word yoga is an ancient Sanskrit word that means union. And so that is union, the union of the breath and the body and your spirit all in one. And so true yoga is about bringing your awareness of your body and your breath
Through meditation.
through meditation, and that's the goal. So the goal of yoga is to have good meditation. A comfortable body leads to comfortable meditation. If you can't sit still comfortably, you won't have a good meditation. And many people in the West think that yoga is about circus postures and that's not really yoga. So yoga is about having a comfortable body so that you can be comfortable in meditation.
What did you do before you started doing yoga?
So I went to college to be an engineer, and I took physics and engineering, but I played baseball, and I was actually a commercial real estate agent. So I handled businesses and business consulting, and that's really what I did. And
so that's basically a bit far from yoga, right? So who inspired you?
It is far from yoga. Well, I had a series of accidents and a disaster in my life that left me with a sore back and a broken neck and some other physical injuries, and so I used the yoga then to get my mind right and my body right. Because I was very uncomfortable.
So that time you fly to India or?
So I started doing it in America. So I'm to let you know, I'm 58 years old. Okay, and so in my early 40s is when my injuries occurred, and so then I did the rehab and yoga as much as I could. Right.
So yoga helped you recover?
It did help me recover, and I used it as a recovery, and then I saw some good advances in it and some benefits, and then I realized that I had reached the potential, the maximum I could go in America. And so I studied the Indian style, and so I went to learn from Indian masters.
In your opinion, how do you think Indonesian people see yoga as?
Well, so in the world yoga scene, the area of Rishikesh, India, it's in the Himalayan mountains. It is the #1 area in the world. That is where most yoga schools are, many ashrams. And then the #2 place outside of India is Bali. And so potentially it's the Indian culture. I think that has a lot to play with it. But this is a world-renowned hotbed of yoga also. So many people come to Bali for yoga school, yoga retreats. there's a good connection.
Since I'm also very new to yoga, so I heard that there are different types of yoga.
There
Can you
are.
explain a bit?
Sure. And so it's broken down into several different things. So Hatha Yoga, Hatha, people pronounce it Hatha, but it's actually Hatha. Hatha. And it is the yoga of action. Okay, so there is a ancient Hindu Sanskrit text that is called the Bhagavad Gita, and it lays out the different types of yoga. And so there is Raja Yoga, which is yoga of the mind, and then there is Jnana Yoga, which is about learning, and then there is Bhakti Yoga, which is about chanting and mantras, and then Kundalini Yoga, which is what I actually practice the most, which is a meditation style, along with Tantra Yoga, and then Hatha Yoga. And so when you take Hatha Yoga, now it is broken into Ashtanga, which is a very active physical, very popular, is what most people when they practice very gymnastic yoga, that is what they're practicing. It's called Ashtanga. That is a form of Hatha. And then Iyengar is another style. Those are styles of yoga. And the Iyengar style is props and straps and blocks and in longer holds. And it's named after a man, Iyengar, who's just recently died a few years ago. And so those are the popular styles. And there's places in India where those are originated. But Hatha is the original name for yoga that has the postures. And so most people think that yoga is just the postures, the circus postures, but it is much, much more than that. That's the thing, that yoga has an 8-limb system, and the asana is just one part of that. The poses are just one part.
So when you start doing yoga, you're not just doing one, but you're doing.
It's a progression. You need to.
So it's not like you get to pick and choose what.
You shouldn't. And so what happens is, which is common in our lives now, is we learn a little bit and then we think we're very smart.
Yeah.
And so just a little bit of learning and then we're done. And so the third of the 8 limbs is the asana, the postures. And before are yamas and niyamas, which are ways to live, ahimsa, kindness, truthfulness.
So there's a philosophy involved.
There is a philosophy, and to really do it properly, you need to follow the philosophy. So that's why it takes a teacher, I think, and so a guru, so that you can make sure that you're doing it properly. Many of the forms need to be monitored so that alignment is very critical. But especially the 4th limb, which is, I think, where I really am, spending my most time with advanced students, is in the breathing. And so most of us, we don't breathe deeply. And so now with this COVID-19 out there, it's shown that the breathing patterns are very critical.
Wow.